And welcome back to America Trends. I'm Dr. Gina. Remember, if you are watching on your computer, be sure you can get us on your local cable carrier. Go to u2america.com, enter your zip code to find out where you can find us locally. And if we aren't there, then let your cable company know that you would like to have us. Now, our poll question today, based on what we saw you talking about in social media, is this. Do you think there are too many candidates entering the presidential primary race? We gave you 3 options: too many, just right, or the more the merrier. Sounds like a party. And if you don't like those options, send a social media comment and we'll do our best to get your comment on the air as well. Now, Rick Perry is the latest in a long line of candidates to jump in on the GOP side. And here to discuss is Matt Schlapp, chairman of the American Conservative Union. Welcome to America Trends, Matt. Good to have you.
Great to be with you, Gina.
Thank you. Matt, what do you think of the number of candidates in the race? I'll give you the same options we gave our audience in our poll today. That is too many, we should have more, or the more the merrier. Or too many, I forgot our options now.
Just right.
Just right. Should we stop where we are, or we can't have too many? It's just a party and we'll take them all. What do you think?
I just want to win. I just want the candidate who can beat Hillary Clinton. How about that? I will tell you one thing. Having a primary with this many candidates, I think is going to make Central an even better general election. I'm really excited about how this is shaping.
Well, we know they'll be vetted, and we know that they will have a lot of experience running, while Hillary's kind of running and hiding. Some say it'll be a bloodbath with so many candidates going after each other, though. Are you concerned about a bloodbath at this point? I heard today, after Perry got in, Ted Cruz said, "Congratulations, welcome to the race." Very gentlemanly, very typical of what we'd like to see. But do you think it'll stay this way?
No, it's not going to stay this way. It's going to get tighter and tougher and personal. Politics is about a lot of important embedded issues in our hearts, in our souls, in our heads, and we care deeply about these issues. And when there's disagreements, there's clashes. I'm okay with that. I think a democracy is stronger when that happens in a very open, public environment. So, I know there's an 11th commandment, Reagan's 11th commandment, don't speak ill of other Republicans.
Right.
That can be interpreted a lot of ways. I think these candidates are going to think it's okay to go after their opponents' records and the disagreements they have on issues.
All right, on Twitter, Just Call Me Kay tweeted, "The number is fine. It could increase. America will see a variety of ideas. I see it as a job interview." Eventually, one candidate will be nominated for the GOP party and the Democrat Party. The candidates that don't win the nomination could potentially be picked for cabinet positions. Matt, are some of these candidates only in this trying to get a cabinet position?
I know almost every one of these candidates pretty well. They're in it to win it. I can't think of one that's thinking, well, maybe I'll get in an administration. And I think that's good. It takes a certain amount of ego and self-confidence to run for president, and they have that. And I think they see themselves winning and governing in that funny-shaped office in that white building.
All right. On Facebook, Mark Moiser said this: the more candidates there are, the more likely it will be that we will have to go to a second ballot at the GOP convention. That could be interesting going into the convention with no candidate having enough delegates to where we don't really know who the president will be, let alone the VP. Talk about a well-watched convention. As such, bring them in, he said. Matt, do you see this as a possibility?
Well, I'm 47 years old, and I was a geeky little kid that loved politics even when I was young. And I remember the 1980 Democratic convention where it wasn't in the bag for Carter until the very end. And actually for Gerald Ford, I don't remember this one as well, but I certainly remember reading about it. Gerald Ford was fending off Ronald Reagan all the way to the convention. So that is not unusual in our history that a race could go down to the line. And this person who emailed you is really on top of it because he understands that the Republican Party has changed its rules and increased the likelihood that this could go all the way to the convention.
Mm-hmm. If you had to pick one demographic, Matt, that you think is most imperative, we hear a lot about attracting Hispanic vote, the women's vote. We hear a lot about the young vote, although in my experience, they don't actually vote much. If you had to pick one demographic that you would most hope the GOP can garner the vote of this time around, which one would it be?
Well, it seems like they're very focused on the demographic of billionaires. And I really think that's a mistake. I understand the need to raise money, but I think the way that many of these funders are asking the candidates to come kiss their rings in these really almost kind of gaudy public ways is a mistake for our party. We have to remember that most Americans didn't go to college. Most Americans are struggling economically. Most Americans have not seen increase in their take-home pay. And most Americans are struggling with the daily issues. And it's really important for our party to connect to them. So I guess the demographic that I care the most about are those Americans who actually are working hard. They're not breaking the law. They're following the rules. They're having a heck of a hard time getting by. If they can't connect the Republican and conservative policy solutions, then I think my party doesn't deserve to win.
You know, we all have our fantasies about what this could all go down, how this could all go down. And my fantasy, I think of watching Walker make appointments to the National Labor Relations Board. I think of watching Ted Cruz confront the media on hypocrisy issues. What is your fantasy candidate that you would love to see in a debate against Hillary?
Well, I have to say, there is something fantastic about the idea of Carly Fiorina walking onto that stage against Hillary Clinton, because she is ready for that. She's taking Hillary on now, and Hillary won't have this kind of easy way to push off, oh, this is just your latest old white guy who you picked to represent your party. I think the optics of that would be absolutely fantastic. So I think all Republicans would love seeing Hillary Clinton being put in that position.
That's a fun fantasy. I like that too. And I hope that we'll see her doing something very active in politics going forward. Matt Schlapp of the American Conservative Union. Find him on Twitter at @mschlapp. Thank you so much, Matt, for being with us, and we'd love to have you back again soon.